Scooby Doo on Zombie Island. This movie haunted me as a child, not just because the monsters were real, but because I desperately wanted to try all that food. Unleashing Shaggy and Scooby in New Orleans must have been a horror on its own for the local suppliers. Kinda like I tried that delicious food myself. That is until I realized I could make it. So that's what I did. This is everything I made for my Scooby Doo on Zombie Island movie night. Full recipes are on my website, linked below. Make sure to like this video and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. Now let's begin. Our little opportunists are always looking for their next meal, so they secure a position in customs. This definitely went over my head as a kid, but it's incredibly smart for them to choose this position. Think about it, it's one of the few places that hires dogs. I labeled this wooden board as customs for this dish, and a cute cheese wheel as evidence. They confiscated a lot of bananas, so I thought it would be a delicious addition to add caramelized bananas on top of the cracker, salami, and cheese. It was delicious, and I think Shaggy and Scooby would be very proud. Gorgonzola is the cheese mentioned in this movie, but I'm not the biggest fan, so I used this herb goat cheese instead.
Speaking of old times, look what I have for you, Scooby! Scooby Snack!
The classic Scooby snack. It's a must for any Scooby-Doo movie night. I could have just served the cookies, but I decided to be a little extra and lean into the southern food theme by making banana pudding. To start, you're going to add 2 boxes of 5.1 ounce instant vanilla pudding to a bowl and add 2 cups of milk. Mix it until there are no more clumps and refrigerate it for about 30 minutes. While that's setting in the fridge, add 8 ounces of room temperature cream cheese, a 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk, and a dash of vanilla extract to a bowl. Mix that with an electric mixer until it's smooth. Once smooth, slowly fold in 8 ounces of Cool Whip. Use this folding method so the mixture stays fluffy and airy. Then fold that into the vanilla pudding mixture. Now it's time to layer the pudding. Start with mini vanilla wafer cookies, or you can use the Scooby Snack cookies. Then add a layer of the pudding. Next, a layer of bananas. I added some caramel sauce next, another layer of cookies, and then finished these pudding cups off by leveling a layer of pudding on top with a Scooby Snack. Beignets are probably one of the first things that come to mind when I think about New Orleans. And these sweet fried pastries are actually not that difficult to make. Start by adding half a cup of milk to 3/4 cup of warm water. Add 2 1/4 teaspoon of instant yeast to that warm mixture. Give that a mix and cover with a damp towel or cloth and let it rest on the counter for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, pour that yeast mixture into a bowl and add an egg, a dash of vanilla extract, 3 tablespoons of melted butter, 1/3 cup of sugar, and 3.5 cups of flour. Give that a good mix, and when it becomes too thick, start working it with your hand. That's what she said. Apologies. Moving on. Form a nice little ball in the bowl and cover it with a damp towel or cloth. Let the dough sit on your counter like this for about 2 hours. It should double in size. Flour the surface of your counter, place the dough on the flour, and sprinkle some on top as well. Roll out the dough and cut it into squares. These will puff up a lot when we fry them, so don't cut the squares too large. Add about an inch of frying oil to a pot and place your dough squares in the oil once it's hot. Make sure you don't overcrowd them. Flip them when the bottom turns golden brown. And as the last and most important step, smother them in enough powdered sugar that even a rock star from the 70s would say, "Whoa, that's enough." Gumbo. It's a daunting dish to make, but once you get past the fear of the roux, it's actually very simple. Start by seasoning about 2 pounds of cleaned and thickly diced chicken thighs. The seasoning I'm adding is Tony's original Creole seasoning, garlic powder, pepper, and salt. Measure with a pure heart and you can't go wrong. Give that a good mix and set it aside for now. Next, we're going to cook a package of diced and dewy sausage. Remove the sausage when it has a nice color to it. Add some oil to your pot and cook that chicken you just seasoned. Now it's time for the roux. Dun dun dun! Sorry, I'm still figuring out how to put sound effects. My personal preference is using bacon grease, but you can use butter or oil as well. To make roux, add equal parts bacon grease and equal parts flour to your pot on medium heat so it doesn't burn. Sprinkle in the flour slowly, making sure to break up the clumps as best you can. Don't worry about the clumps too much, though. As you can see, it'll smooth out nicely on its own. This is where people tend to go wrong. Your roux needs to be a chocolate brown to make gumbo. Not milk chocolate, dark chocolate. This means you'll have to babysit it for a good 40 minutes to an hour. And you'll need to stir very often so the roux doesn't burn. Once your roux is a deep chocolate brown, it's time to add the Holy Trinity. For the Holy Trinity, I diced up a green pepper, an onion, and a few celery stalks. Add the Holy Trinity with some minced garlic to your roux and stir often so it doesn't burn. After a few minutes, add in 4 cups of chicken stock. If you want a thicker gumbo, only add in 3 cups. I added a bit more Tony's before adding back in the chicken and sausage that we already cooked. Make sure everything is submerged before covering your pot and letting it simmer for about 3 to 4 hours. Stir about every 20 minutes. Cooking it this long really develops the flavor, and trust me, it's worth it. Serve over rice and garnish with green onions. Now for Lena's homemade lemonade. First, we have to make simple syrup by adding 1 cup of sugar and 1 cup of water to a small pot. Some like adding 1.5 cups of sugar, but I find that too sweet. Heat this mixture on medium heat until the sugar dissolves, then set the pot aside to cool. To a large pitcher, add 2 cups of lemon juice, fresh is best, 3 cups of water. Let's just take a moment for how flawless my pouring abilities are. And finally, our cooled simple syrup. Give it a good shake, store it in your refrigerator, and pour it over ice to enjoy. Scooby and Shaggy love a sandwich, so the movie features them quite often. The iconic po' boy that they eat when they first get to the island is one that I considered making, but it's 3 feet tall. And have you seen the prices of meat lately? I decided to go the more classic route and serve the long sub that they eat during their picnic. To start, I sliced the bread in half, and I removed some of the excess bread. This leaves more room for awesomeness. Next, I added mayo and mustard to both sides of the bread because we do not want a dry sandwich. Then I added a layer of ham, turkey, and American cheese. And feel free to switch up the types of meat and cheese to your preference. Next, I stacked salami, bacon, and provolone cheese. Now let's move on to the veggies. I added pickles, roasted red peppers from a jar, tomatoes, and red onions. Then I sprinkled some all-purpose seasoning for more flavor. And of course we have to add some spice, so I hit it with some Frank's Red Hot. To complete this stacked sandwich, I added lettuce on top. And there you go, a classic Scooby Doo sandwich. To make Creole potato salad, first start by adding 3 potatoes and 3 eggs to a boiling pot of water and cook until the potatoes are tender. Once the potatoes are tender, remove them and the eggs from the pot and allow them to cool. You don't want them to cool all the way though. You want them to be a little warm so you can start peeling them easily. Once the potatoes and eggs are peeled, chop them and add them to a big bowl. Next, we're going to add the holy trinity of Creole cooking. I'm adding about a half a cup of chopped onions, a half a cup of chopped green peppers, and a half a cup of chopped celery. Then add a half a cup of chopped green onions, and season with salt, pepper, garlic powder, Tony's Creole seasoning, and a little cayenne pepper just for the extra heat. I don't measure the seasoning, so just make sure you add enough to coat the potatoes. Give everything a good mix, and now it's time to add our wet ingredients. Add about a half a cup of sweet relish, 2 tablespoons of mustard, and 1 cup of mayo. Mix well and transfer to your serving dish. Top with more of that Tony's. Now I don't have a fancy ice maker, but that doesn't mean I can't serve fancy ice. So I'm making these little pebble ice cubes by using the silicone ice mold. To make this spooky skeleton cocktail, add 1 ounce of Midori, 2 ounces of vodka, and top the rest of the glass with sparkling limeade. I got this from Trader Joe's. To make this drink glow, I placed a light-up coaster underneath the glass, and then I found this cool skeleton arm for a stir stick. It ties everything together, I think.
Nothing like a good old-fashioned crawfish boil.
Thing I'd make at home. I did, however, make the biscuits. Start by adding 2 cups of self-rising flour and a half a cup of frozen grated butter to a bowl. Work that together with a fork. This is called cutting in the butter. Then add 1 1/4 cup of buttermilk and keep working that in with the fork. When it becomes too tough, flour your surface and start kneading the dough. Keep adding flour to firm up the dough. You want it to be a little sticky but firm enough to cut. Heat your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Place some butter in a cast iron pan or an oven-safe pan and heat it up in the oven. I don't have a biscuit cutter, so I'm using an upside-down glass. You don't need fancy equipment to make it work. Shape your biscuits, and when the cast iron is hot, place them on the pan and bake them for 15 minutes. Ouch! Be more careful than me. I like to rub some butter on them when they're done for that glossy look. These are also great to make in advance and freeze. To reheat, just place them in the oven and bake them for about 10 minutes on 350 degrees Fahrenheit.
And now for the heat de resistance.
Now I would be a fraud if I didn't feature some form of hot peppers. They are staying on a pepper farm after all. To start, let's make the Tabasco peach syrup by adding 1/2 cup of sugar and 1/2 cup of water to a pot. Stir on medium heat until the sugar is completely dissolved. Then add 1/4 cup of peach puree. And about 1/2 tablespoon of Tabasco. The heat should just be enough to hit the back of your throat. Dang it, I already did one of those jokes. Anyway, mix that until combined and then set it aside to cool. Next, we're going to set up our garnish. First, remove the stems. I'm using these small hot peppers I found in a jar. Next, add a dab of balsamic glaze into the peppers and then stuff them with that herb goat cheese we used in the beginning of the video. To make the drink, add 2 ounces of vodka, 1 ounce of the Tabasco peach syrup, 2 ounces of cran apple juice, and I thought it needed more acidity, so I also added a splash of lemon juice. Lena's pecan pie. It's so good, it's supernatural. Let's start by making the filling. In a bowl, add 1 cup of sugar and 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Then add 1/3 cup of melted butter, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of light corn syrup, a dash of vanilla extract, and 3 eggs. Mix this well. Fold in 1½ cups of chopped pecans. This recipe will usually fill 2 normal-sized pie crusts, but I decided to make mini ones with these pre-made shells instead. Fill the pie shells up 3/4 the way. They will expand in the oven, so you don't want to fill them too much. Add some whole pecans on top for decoration. Bake them in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. You'll know they're ready when they turn dark brown. And this is how everything turned out. If you stayed till the end, thank you so much, and I hope you join me again for the next culinary movie night. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I'd love to say hi.